The voice you are hearing right now is an artificial intelligence voice model, molded into the likeness of Michael C. Hall, not a real human voice. The book this model is set to read is Dexter, The Gotham Hunt, by Billy Napalm, which is a fan novel. All rights go to Jeff Lindsay and Showtime respectively. With that in mind, enjoy the reading. I guess it's apparent, I'm here on my own now. Harry may be gone now, but he's given me something. The greatest thing to have, a code to live by, to survive by. And I suppose that's why I'm here now. Gotham City. It's nothing like Miami. The warm days, the pretty beaches, even the quietness of a nice neighborhood. Instead, we have an infinite amount of rain, the beaches are traded for corporate buildings, the quietness of a neighborhood for crowded big city traffic. I came here for two reasons. The first reason is that Harry wanted me to spend some time out of Florida after his death to adopt ways to maintain my lifestyle. He had major connections with the Gotham PD in the late 1960s. He made a couple of very good friends during his time in Gotham. One of them being Police Lieutenant James Gordon, the late Thomas Wayne, founder of Wayne Enterprises. And a man all three men had cut ties with, disgraced District Attorney Harvey Dent. A man who used his powerful ties in law enforcement to aid the Falcone crime family after it was learned that the tragic accident that caused the disfiguration of his face was caused by the Maroney family. Despite his reign of terror, the Gotham PD inexplicably are never able to catch him, Harvey Two-Face Dent. Of course, Two-Face is what he's called by the media. I suppose they always need a man to turn into an overnight supervillain. My dark passenger has had Harvey on his top 10 list since I first saw him on the news back home. Would Harry approve if I killed his former best friend? If I chainsawed him from a vertical angle until I completely cut off his disfigured half? Unfortunately, there is never a way to know. But that's why Harry left his code, and I say, yes. Gotham also has two more people I need on my table, however. Arthur Fleck, dubbed by the media as the Joker. Arthur spent most of his life in foster homes, mental health facilities, in a single-bedroom apartment with his mother, the mother he murdered in cold blood. And in 1981, on the Murray Franklin show, he admitted to killing 3 young men on a subway train to the host. The host would get uncomfortable, urging people in the audience to call the police, and those were the last words of Murray Franklin before Arthur shot him in the face. After the incident, he spent 5 years in Arkham State Hospital before it was shut down by the FBI for mistreatment of patients. Apparently some of the guards would engage in heinous sexual violence against the men and women in the facility. Arthur, with nowhere else to go, was back on the streets of Gotham City. He'd be a media magnet with no shelter. Anytime he would walk down the street, little Jimmy would cry out, "Mommy! Mommy! It's the Joker!" It's hard for me not to feel bad for this guy. I watched one of HBO's serial killer documentaries on Fleck, and he's been through a lot. It probably would be the best thing for him if I put him down. And finally, disgraced Dr. Jonathan Crane. A psychologist, dealing with the criminally insane and children. It's genius, really. He prescribed things like antidepressants and other drugs of that nature to a patient, gets them hooked, gives them more or less of whatever drug he's prescribed them until they eventually kill themselves. 5 children committed suicide under his care. And 2 criminals he was treating, including Arthur Fleck, went out to commit even more heinous crimes. He had his license to practice psychology revoked, and he turned to the Falcone crime family to distribute the chemicals he put in his pharmaceutical drugs in their cocaine and heroin shipments. Lieutenant Gordon gave me a job as a forensic investigator. Blood spatter, fitting, isn't it? I suppose that's what I do best. When I got to the first scene, it was grisly, unlike anything I had quite seen before. The killer had violently stabbed through the body with an arrow, pinning it to the wall. The face was eyeless, with a smile carved into the mouth. Jesus fucking Christ. Gordon said as he lit a cigarette. Gordon takes a drag and then turns his attention onto me. "Dexter," he addressed me, "this is a pattern of killings and the forensics team can't seem to do a damn thing towards finding anything out. That's a sign of either incompetence on Gotham PD's end, or intentional ignorance. Well, sir, I can tell from the splatter on the other wall that the killer struck several major arteries. Gordon's eyebrow lifts. I begin examining the deep cuts and going over the theory. The one by the arm was very deliberate. On the leg he was slightly off. I'd be willing to bet that the victim was already dead once she was pinned to the wall. Gordon seems impressed, but then he questions me. And what about the disfigurement on the victim's face? That must have come after the victim died. It's incredibly difficult to get such clean cuts on someone's face without any resistance. The brain would have the head move around as an impulsive move, making the face get even more cut up in most cases. So she was already dead? Gordon said, yes. I said, Jesus Christ. Gordon said, you know, this is the most information we could have ever had in the past 3 months. It feels like the forensics department wants there to be all this chaos. These cuts on the arms and legs, that's a professional's work. Lieutenant, is there any witnesses or sketches as to who did these killings? I said. No, the department believes it's Arthur Fleck. However, Detective Russo believes it's a female assailant because of the way the knife is used every time. Gordon replied with a tone I could only describe as unbelievable. Just as he said that, Detective Russo walked in, slicked back black hair, with a red bowling shirt and slacks with a side piece on his hip and a badge on his left breast pocket. Hey Dexter, you may want to come look at this. He directs me to the bathroom. There is a switchblade on the ground, and the window is opened. Pretty open and shut, huh Dex? Said Russo. Not even open and shut. I said. I put the gloves on, grabbed the switchblade and put it in the evidence bag. It seems pretty clear to me, and then I went outside to go talk to Gordon. So Gordon, I inquired, would you mind if I head into the forensics department? I think I could get that report to you before the day is up. Gordon tosses his cigarette. It would be appreciated on my end, but probably unwelcomed by the rest of the team. You'd go in there and make them look bad. Said Gordon. That's all the motivation I'll need to get started, I suppose.